This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Well, it does not take much to please this guy.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Turn that computer off, save some energy.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Don't touch everything and you'll like it. Stupid voice in my head. So as you can see, I'm playing Stanley Parable.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay then.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
No, I didn't.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
How come he gets a window and I don't get a window? A nice painting on the wall.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I'd like to drink some coffee.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
I want to drink.
Really worth it.
Look, I can tell you press the action button, and it sounds
At
like
this
typing.
point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
I like this room. I kiss this room. I kiss it.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
I did?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
That's my job, to follow directions.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that...
What? Really?
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Maybe.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay, fine, let's do this once. Once.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now.
Oh
Don't you see
God.
that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop.
There's an entrance right
we
here.
would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think, well, I
Yeah,
think
stopped.
I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Oh, there we go. It's gonna go through there anyways. No, I don't want to leave the light. Oh, pretty light.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
A light at the end of a long tunnel.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here,
Where the hell's the door that
right
just
in
came
this
in?
moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy.
It is beautiful.
I actually feel happy.
You feel happy. I want to feel happy. It's my life. It's my body. Can I fall off? No. This is beautiful, though.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Nowhere. Oh, this is cool. Yeah.
Right. Where were we?
This is beautiful, though. You gotta admit, it is beautiful. Oh, goodbye.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. No! Oh, no. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Okay. Fine, you sound sad.
Yes. Perhaps you can.
Nope.
Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Nope. Jukes. I hit them jukes on you. Jukes on your brain.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
Whoever made this game,
Am I
bravo.
reading the situation correctly? Or
Whoever
maybe
made
you're
this
just
game,
getting a
bravo.
kick out of it. I don't
Oh, I'm
know
getting a
anymore.
kick out of it.
I just wanted us to get along,
Oh, no, we are.
but I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is
There
it
we go.
over? It's going to restart, isn't it?
Yep.
I'm going back.
Stops him in mid-sentence. Whoever made this game, bravo. I give you applause. For all the different endings and stuff like that. Bravo. End is never the end. See? Reset.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm gonna follow what he does, what he says this time.
When When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Cross out of the broom closet. Wait, he's still in the broom closet? They haven't checked that off yet. He must still need to hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper guy. The paper synergist guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the target on the topic of squigglies. Tomorrow. Complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. Hello, broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I have to piss. Don't look at me. No, look. It'll help. Yeah.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet.
I wanna follow the
No
path
reason
through the
to
wall.
still be here.
Follow the path through the wall. Magic.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
This FA stands for fuck all.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, I'm not gonna walk down there. We'll do that next time. There's a bunch of different endings to this game. Oh, I want to go in the executive bathroom. Linda, you here? Why does she have 2 phones?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Are you gonna say anything?
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Shut up.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Boss had some secrets. This is just a dark corner, okay. Wonder what this does. No, I don't want to die. No, don't take me to the bowels. I want to go to the bowels. Everything's going dark. So how do you guys like the game so far? I'm enjoying it a hell of a lot. It's more like that guy's like a tour guide and you're like a child disobeying the rules.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay, sorry about that. My friend was talking to me.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh yeah, I do. Oh, these little mini TVs.
Now the monitors jumped to life,
Oh,
their
Jesus.
true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Huh. What's this?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
What?
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Where am I going?
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Mind control offline. What the hell? How do I bring this thing offline? But it already is offline. How do I bring something... Well, how do I turn something off that's already off? What the hell? What am I supposed to do here? I want to bring on at least a light, because it's dark in here. Oh, it's in there. I was looking around out here. Mind control, idle, awaiting input. And random text on the screen.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
There we go. Right mid-sentence.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes.
Oh god, wait.
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do,
Just press and jump.
or how to fudge.
Pressing the
Whatever
jump
life
button
he
too much.
lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Is this like
It
in
was
Ireland or
perhaps
something?
the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Well, if I don't. This looks like a completely different part of the world. Like it's just cut off like right here.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Well, guess don't take much to please me then. Beat the game. Just follow his commands, and you beat the game. I will add another part to this. I'm not going to play it right now because I want to play some Starbound.